I want y'all to bring it. No, you got your man out there doing bigger and better things. Okay? And I blame, Trey asked a good question. How did it get so bad? I blame y'all. Because y'all been sitting on the fucking sidelines, letting these women do this bullshit, not setting boundaries, not telling women no, fuck off. And that's why we do what you allow us to do. You are one I love to hate and hate and love, but at the end of the day, I love you, baby girl. Come on the panel, let's go, please. Let's go. You could be in market, but you might go back limping. What's going on? What's going on to all my embracers on the Black Man Unfiltered Network, Monday Night Mayhems? So you know what it is. Come on, man. We're going to talk about topics that are going to make you sit your ass down. And tonight we are going to talk about delusional women. But before we get into that, let me say, thank you for Black Man Unfiltered for allowing me to have a show on his network. So don't forget to always like, subscribe, and share. Go into my channel and like it, share it. Go into the Black Man Unfiltered network, share it, so we can get this algorithm rolling. Okay. And shout out to my Knicks. I know we lost, and I'm still trying to process it. I can't believe that I have to go along with the Boston Celtics. There's nothing about Boston that I like, but it is what it is. But at least my Knicks did better than they ever have since '94. So that's what matters to me, is progress. Progress. For anybody that doesn't know me, my name is Grace from Embrace the Grace. And I have my own channel. I go live on my own channel on Thursday nights on the JVJ network, Monday nights on the Black Man Unfiltered network, Tuesday nights I'm on the panel on Black Man Unfiltered network, flipping tables. Guys, I'm all over the streets. If you like me, you like me. You'll follow me wherever I go. If you rock with me, I rock with you. You don't rock with me, it's all good too. I'm still going to be blessed and highly favored. So with that being said, we're talking about delusional women. And I have to admit that I was delusional at times. But it wasn't to the extreme that a lot of these young ladies, or even older ladies in my age bracket, that carry. I mean, there are a lot of women out there, and it doesn't matter what color you are. You could be black, white, Hispanic, polka dot, Martian. A lot of y'all women have high ass expectations about the man that you want, but you ain't shit, or you don't even meet half of the expectations that you expect a man to bring to the table. I mean, I need some women to come up here and explain to me your thought process, and how do you think that works? How do you think that you having these high expectations, because I know where we get it from. We get it from these punk ass Walt Disney movies. We get it from our daddies, telling us what kind of man we need and what we want, and we get it from our mamas. But the realm of reality that it is bullshit. It really is. Do you know how many good men we have passed over because of these unrealistic, delusional standards that we have for ourselves? And trust me, as you ladies get older and the walls start shrinking in on you, that list starts getting shorter and shorter. Trust me, it does. And guys, I don't just come up here again. I don't just pull shit out my butt. These are real life experiences that I have experienced myself. I have seen friends and family go through, or just life. I've seen a lot of my friends pass up great men because their pettiness and their high expectations. I've seen a lot of my friends and myself make bad decisions on men because of petty and unrealistic expectations. So I want to put it out there that we as women, we need to do better. We really do, because we are missing out on a lot of good men. I mean, I had one, and I'm gonna share. I'm gonna share. Let me tell you something about me. I had this expectation that, and it was unrealistic, but luckily I was able to always acquire that. I like really tall men. I mean, that's just that. I mean, I'm short. I'm 5'2". Well, I was back then. I seem to be shrinking, y'all. So I'm like 5 feet now. But I've always liked just tall for no damn reason. I mean, my ex-husband is 6'9". Okay. But that expectation is unrealistic. But I was lucky with it because really tall guys like really short girls. So it worked out for me. But as I have gotten older, I've had to adjust that. And I still have a standard. The lowest I can go is 5'9". So I've gone from 6'3" to 5'9". You see how I've had to change my expectations? I've just been really lucky in that area that I always seem to attract really tall guys. But for a lot of us, we have all these standards that are just unrealistic, and they're delusional. So before we move forward, let's talk about the word delusional, because maybe a lot of you women don't know what that means. And I'm going to take it back to the basics. Delusional comes from the Latin word meaning deceiving. Deceiving yourself by believing outrageous things. Delusional thoughts are often a sign of mental illness, but the word can also be used more loosely to describe behavior that is not realistic. Again, the definition of delusional is characterized by holding false beliefs or judgments about eternal reality that are held in incontrovertible evidence to the contrary, typically as a symptom of a mental condition. We are too delusional thinking that we can get a 6'6" type of man. What does that mean? 6 figures, 6-pack of abs, and 6 feet tall. It doesn't work, ladies and gentlemen. We have to accept what's around us and what we can get. Now, I'm not saying don't have standards and don't have expectations, but you guys are taking it to you're taking it to a level that you're losing out on some good men. You know, you're choosing to be single because you want to stick to these delusional standards, and you're gonna end up buying a dog and dying alone, because there is no perfect man out there. You're not gonna get 10 out of 10 on your list. You should be at least happy, humble, and grateful that you can get 7 out of 10. I mean, there are some things that me and other women and people should stand 10 toes on. But all that other petty shit, like when I see videos like you're too good to go to the Cheesecake Factory, come on, ladies. Can you even spell cheesecake? You want a man to drop $200-300 on you on a first date, and you don't even know what filet mignon is? You can't even pronounce half the shit on the menu? You wouldn't even know how to act in a five-star restaurant. You wouldn't even know what fork to use first, or what spoon is for the soup, or what fork is for the salad, but you want a man to take you there. You'll stick out like a sore thumb. I mean, come on. Let's keep it real. So sit y'all delusional asses down and let's talk about it on Monday Night Mayhem, because I'm tired of this. I'm tired of y'all putting all this pressure on these men when there are a lot of good men out here. When I hear women say there are no good men out here, how many times have you missed out on a good man because you have your crazy ass delusional list of standards? Yeah, but you don't have standards on how many kids you have. You don't have standards on how many people shoot up the club. But you want to ask a man to bring something to the table that you yourself can't deliver. Where do they do that at? Make that make sense to me. Make that make sense to me. You want a man to make six figures, but you barely making poverty line, minimum wage. You want a man to pull up in a Maserati, but you driving a hoopty. You want a man to have his own business and want a man that works for corporate, or you a cashier at McDonald's. And shout out to my McDonald's people. I worked at McDonald's for 20 years and they taught me a lot. Store manager, I was a leader. So I give a shout. I'm not downing nobody that works in the fast food. But come on now, let's be realistic. Okay? You have to date within your realm. You're a 6, but you want to date a 10. And you're probably not a 6 because you're overrating yourself. Because we all think that we're greater than we really are. So somebody really breaks it down to your ass and tells you what it is, but then you get offended and you get pissed off. And instead of taking heed to the message, my queen, I see you. I'm trying to look at the chat, but I see you, hon. Instead of Brad from next door, neighbor, works and works for the city, making a good steady paycheck, you're gonna hold out for the six-figure man, which ain't never gonna come around because ain't no six-figure man hanging out in your neighborhood. Think about it. The first thing that you should do is make a list. Make a list of put everything. If you got 100 things on the list, go ahead, by all means, embrace it. But before you tell a man what's on your list, you better become the list. How about that? Again, I'm tired of a lot of these self-entitled, selfish women thinking just because they got a box between their legs or they're pretty that they feel or think that they can get a high value man. It's only 1% of men that are considered high value. That make 10% six figures. It's unrealistic and you're delusional. And now y'all out here getting mad because the men are here out with the drizzle. And all they're doing is trying to show us how ridiculous and how delusional and how stupid we sound. Yeah, we do. We look stupid. We sound stupid because we want all these things from somebody, but you won't give back. You want a man to be generous, but you tight as hell with your money. You won't even buy him a sock for Father's Day. You want a man to take you out and pay for everything, but you'll never spend money on him. You want a man to buy you a $500 bag, but you won't buy him a $500 wallet. I mean, we really got to work on reciprocating and being less selfish and stop worrying about that goddamn list that most of us are not going to reach. I know what my flaws are. I know what I'm still working on. I know what my strengths are. And I lead with them. And then what that really trips me out, and I'm gonna say it, and I know this is gonna be mean as hell, but you got a lot of ugly ass chicks expecting to get a 10 with a man. Come on. I'm trying not to curse because I know the less curse words you use, the more monetized you get. But sometimes I just can't help myself. So I'm gonna keep it graceful. We have to come to reality and realize that it's not gonna happen for a lot of y'all. Be happy with Tyrone working for waste management. Be content from the guy that works at the car dealership. Be content with having a mechanic, plumber. Because you know what? They out there. You guys are just letting them go and slipping away through your fingers. So with that being three good videos that I want to show. And if anybody wants to come up, you're welcome to, show me different, tell me different, agree with me, whatever. Let's talk about it. Make me understand why the hell you guys think, you women think that you can have these high ass unrealistic expectations. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Let's talk about it. So with that being said, Black Man Unfiltered, please roll the tape.
Broke niggas always got something to say.
You know me? How you know I'm broke?
You live here, don't you?
Yeah, I stay by myself.
What's that supposed to mean?
Wait, you calling me broke because I stay here?
Yeah.
In the same complex that you stay in?
Yeah.
How that make sense?
Any nigga trying to talk to me has to have a shit together.
Curious to know, what all does a guy need to qualify to date you?
He needs to have his own crib, not an apartment. His own car that's not busted. At least making 6 figures and know how to treat me like a princess.
How old you is?
22.
You stay here by yourself?
I live with my mom.
This your car?
I share it with her too.
What you do for a living?
I work at Wendy's.
That's it?
Yeah.
So how the f do you expect a nigga to have all that when you ain't got none of it?
What he need to worry about is what he got going on. That's all that matters.
So he gotta pull up on you every time y'all hang out. Like, you ain't even got the option to do that for him.
Okay, mind your damn business and go on about your day, trash man.
Where the f that came from?
You taking out the trash, aren't you?
Yeah, like a normal person would.
My nigga would have them come get it from the house.
He still gotta take it to the dump. Ma'am, you have a nice day. I hope your delusion come to life.
Delusion? What's that supposed to mean?
You still talking? Broco's always got something to say.
I mean, if that doesn't prove what I'm trying to say right now, I don't know what does. So she wants a man that doesn't have a car that's busted, but she shares a car with her mom. She doesn't want a man to have an apartment. She wants a man to have his own house, but she lives in an apartment with her mama. She wants a man to make 6 figures, but she flipping burgers at Wendy's. Again, make it make sense. Why? She was decent looking. She was pretty, but pretty fades. And guys are starting to realize that it's not all about looks. It's not always going to be about what you have between your legs. It's also about the content of your character. How do you treat him? How do you respect him? Do you cook a home-cooked meal for him? Do you give him peace? Are you willing to do these things to get the things that you want? Or are you just going to be ratchet and delusional and selfish and think that you're going to get all these things without having to put any work or effort? I mean, seriously, where I need to know, I need somebody to help me embrace the delusion that where is all this coming from? Where is all this delusion coming from? Because it's gotten really bad. It's gotten to the, hey Randy, how you doing, my baby? I see you in the chat in my channel. Thank you for coming. Don't forget to press the like button for both the Black Man Unfiltered Network and my channel. We show support for both. The link is there. You guys want to talk your shit, come up and make me understand. Where did I go wrong? What am I doing wrong? Because what I've seen lately and what I hear the younger generation talk about is this is why it's all about Netflix and chill. It's not the hookup culture. It's not about relationships. Nobody, and I heard, and shout out to Lil Beans. I heard him say, and yes, he boxed it because he's a black man, and they were talking about black women, and he says something that really touched me. He was like, the black woman doesn't know what it means to build with a black man. And I hate to say it, he was right. A lot of women, and not just black, but a lot of women want a ready-made man. And that's not feasible. Y'all not going to get that. All of y'all not going to get that. You have to be willing to build. You have to be willing to lift the bricks up and build with your man. So what? You just want to sit there and look pretty and then collect, money every month and then have the audacity to take half of it? I mean, come on now. Like, man, you got to put some of these comments up on the screen because I got to address them. I got to address them. I just can't concentrate on looking at the comments and trying to do my show because I know somebody up in here cutting up. I already know. You have you already know. But with that being said, it's just unrealistic, and we have to do better. We'll have the babies from the Pookie and Ray Rays and then expect a higher standard man to come and clean up our mess after we didn't have 2-3 babies from Pookie and Ray Ray. Make that make sense, guys. Make it make sense to me because I'm still in awe when I see a lot of these young women. And it's funny. It's also women that have their degrees, big mansion, nice car, $5,000 handbags. Yeah, that's all great and dandy. But you still go to bed in an empty bed. You're still lonely as hell. The rose is your best friend. You don't have any children and you're 32 years old and your biological clock is ticking. Why? Because you want to hold out for these delusional high expectations of a man that are just not going to come. They're really not. You're supposed to build together and work each other up, build each other up, work as a team, and follow your man and submit to your man and trust his plan. But no. What were y'all told? That you don't need a man? That you're strong and independent? That's what it is. But this is what drives me crazy. You strong and independent and you make your own money, but you want a man to pay all your bills. You can afford to go to Ruth Chris, but you ain't never been to Ruth Chris, but you expect a man to take you. I mean, do you know how stupid y'all sound? You require a man to fly you first class, but you've been flying coach all your life. Come on, Cletus. Come on. Make me understand. Make me understand the foolery that y'all got going on over here. Because it do not make sense to me. What's up, JT? I hope you're feeling better. Guys, tomorrow is officially my son's last day of high school. Y'all don't know the emotions that I'm going through. So it is and he keeps walking around with his cap and gown, just proud as a peacock. But anyway, I got off track when I saw JT and I thought about his daughter. I hope you're feeling better. So I have another tape that's real. Hey, Wife School Podcast, how you doing, beautiful? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I love seeing y'all don't know. Y'all like really are my family. Y'all are therapeutic. Seeing y'all come in here and come in and support me and the network. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you, Take Heed. Your daughter was absolutely gorgeous. So y'all made some beautiful ass babies, let me tell y'all. Let me tell y'all. But let's go ahead and go to the second tape. I don't know. I told Black Man, just throw in whatever tape and let's see what it is. Again, if you guys want to come up here and go against of what I'm saying, talk about it, explain to me where all this comes from, let me know because I need to understand. Make me understand. Let's roll to the next tape.
They're average, or most people do not think that they are average. Is this confidence or is this delusion? And what inspired this video was me posting a TikTok from one of my girl interviews. To say the comments were concerning and eye-opening is actually an understatement. So now let me read some of the comments to you. Average has nothing to do with me. Some of us don't want to be average. LOL, okay, but these are based on averages and I'm not looking for an average man. I don't give an F. I want my man to be pulling 500K. My soul left my body when I read that one. No one can survive with less than 70K. Let's be very for real. Are we okay? If you can't survive on 70K, you have a spending problem.
Yo, that was funny when she said her soul left her body. You want a man to make 500K, but you flipping burgers at Wendy's. Make that make sense. Black Man Unfiltered, can you show Anissa's? She did a good comment. It's for 943. She did a really good comment. Hi, Young Money. Hi, Lana. How are you guys doing? I see y'all, Skinny Boy. How you doing? Same family that I see in the morning time for Take Heed. I love it. I love the fact that you support all of us. And I really, really appreciate it. Anissa said, take care of her husband, take care of herself, and maintain her weight and attractiveness. What should this woman expect in return? She take care of her husband. That wasn't the comment, but that's also a good one. Take care of her husband, take care of herself, maintain her weight and attractiveness. What should this woman expect in return? Well, honestly, for the things that you just listed there, Anissa, she shouldn't expect anything because she should be taking her care of herself regardless whether she has a husband or not. She should be maintaining her weight whether she has a husband or not. And she should be maintaining her attractiveness whether she has a husband or not. Wouldn't you want to do that for yourself first? And then do it for the next person? And then take care of her husband. I mean, that's a given because the husband is taking care of her. This was the one. What should the expectations be for a man that qualifies to be a husband? If a man says she has to be fit, friendly, and feminine, submissive, cooperative, nurturing, and a good cook and a homemaker, and raise kids, what should the expectation for a man that qualifies for a husband? Okay, I mean, in my opinion, it should be provide, protect, pray, and procreate. He should be pushing Pete. I mean, we all, and that's funny because that's what my show is on Thursdays about, the importance of gender roles. So come check that out. See, we as women were tricked with feminism. We were tricked out of our men in the 1960s by government daddy and believing that we don't need a man. When in fact, we need a man. We need each other. A man needs a woman and a woman needs a man, but nobody wants to do their job description because we're too busy worrying about what he's not doing. We not minding our own damn business and doing and fulfilling our job description as women and wives, but we're too busy at looking at what the husband's not doing or what he should be doing. First, learn your job description. As a manager all my life, I always felt that I had to know everything, because there's no way that I'm going to train and teach people things that I don't know myself. So how are you going to tell a man what to do and how he should be doing it when you're not doing the job that you're supposed to be doing first? While you're too busy pointing a finger at him, there's 3 pointing a finger back at you. Just worry about what you're supposed to be doing. And keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. And if you're not getting what you want from that person, then it's obvious you picked the wrong person. Hello? Hello? I don't hear anything. I mean, make it make sense. Make it make sense. So with that being said, sorry guys, my son was asking me something. With that being said, we have to do better. We have to be humble. If a man is dating a woman with 2 kids, instead of walking around with an attitude and thinking you're the shit, you should be walking around humble and grateful that that man decided to put you under his covering and another man's seed. But no, we don't walk around like that. We walk around like he owe us something. You got to change your mindset. You got to change the way you see things. Be humble. Be thankful that that man took your kids. Once you know your job description and possess those skills, and you're not giving that to just anybody, the woman that possesses those qualities will have expectations and standards for that man, period. Not all the time, Anissa. I mean, you're talking about women in our age group and that are older, but say that to the younger girls. Do they really know their job description? Are they possessing those skills? And I understand that you're not just going to give them to anybody, but he that findeth a wife is a good thing. You have to already be wifey material. You can't become wifey material. You can't say, oh, I'm just going to be a wife to him if he shows me. No, you got to be ready so you don't have to get ready. Because a man will know and will see that you're wifey material. Oh, I'm not going to submit to him unless he gives me a reason to submit. The man's responsibility is to be a husband, father, provider, and protector. That's it. I already said that, Lady D. But how would you know? You don't have a husband. So, hello. The man's responsibility is to be a husband. That don't even fit. What is the job description of a husband? To be a provider, protector, procreate, look it up in the Bible, and pray and cultivate his wife, because he gets his wife in raw form. But again, how would you know that? Have you had a husband lately? Anyway. That's all you bring. Then what is your responsibility as a wife? Oh, have you ever been a wife? Okay. Let's anyway, back to the scheduled program. I don't think these young women or young men are prepared. And you're absolutely, damn, we pulled up the same. You're absolutely right, Anissa. And that's why they're lost in the sauce. And it's women like me, you, and Take Heed, and older ones to teach the younger ones. You're absolutely right. They're not prepared. Why? Because they're growing up in single house families. They're not seeing an example of a marriage. Little girls are not seeing an example of a mother and a husband and a wife interacting and treating each other. The boys don't have a father figure in the house. So yeah, you're absolutely right. They're not prepared. And that's why mentorship is so important. That's why the concept of it takes a village should still be in effect. But everybody's out for them damn selves. Hooray. What did my dad used to say? Hooray for me and F everybody else. We're selfish. We're selfish. What have you done for me lately? Instead of what can I do for you? Do you need anything? What can I do to make your day easier? Do some of us, most of us don't think that way. We only think about what a person can do for us, what that man can do for us. Well, what do you do for that man? Why? So just because you give him a little head and a little box, you think you've done your job? He can get that anywhere. He can pay for it. And they really don't pay for it. They pay for the women to go away. Most men cook, most men clean, most men, you just don't get it. What makes you different from the next woman that feels that you're entitled to a six-figure man? That you're entitled to a man that lives in a mansion and don't even know how to clean, but you want to live in a mansion. Oh, that's right. You want a maid to come clean for you, right? That's right. You want all these things, but you're not willing to reciprocate. You're not willing to do the give and take. And then when you're done taking and you've taken and sucked everything that you can from the person, you have the audacity to file for divorce. 80% of women initiate divorce. And they've done a damn thing to help build the empire. Most millionaire women, they get it as an inheritance or from their husband. There are very little self-made women millionaires. Very little. Very little. Any other good comments out there, Black Man Unfiltered? Because you know I like to. I don't think the young women. Oh, okay, we read that one. Because y'all be making these comments hot. Don't these younger women notice that the elder women pass on the family kind of split in their separate directions? Hold on a second. Let me read that again. Don't these younger women notice when the elder women pass on the families kind of split in their separate directions? Yeah. What happened to Sunday dinners? What happened to sitting down and having a meal with your family? What happened to that? A lot of women got upset because of Kevin Samuels, and shout out to Kevin Samuels, God rest in paradise. He spoke a lot of truth. Yes, was his delivery abrasive sometimes? There's been almost 2 generations that have been stuck on that okie dokie move. What's the okie dokie move, Del Monte? What do you mean by that? There's been almost 2 generations. Actually, I think it's really, really started going downhill in the early 90s. We need our Black daughters to concentrate on women like Kamala Harris and Michelle Obama. F the rest of these tramps. Okay. What do you, and like a woman like you who has nothing positive or uplifting? And those are the rules to the exceptions. It's the vice president and the first lady. Let's get back down to reality. Come on, Lady D. Let's turn it down a few notches. Those are the exception to the rule. What about your average woman? Here we have a Black woman and a vice president as a Black woman and first lady in the White House, but people still feel our lives are worth nothing. No, that's how you feel. Nobody said that we ain't worth nothing. And again, those are exceptions to the rules. You pick out 2 ladies. 2 ladies. Oh, Lady D, please, when you say something of substance, there are a lot of people on YouTube whose mission is to make Black women bottom barrel crabs in a bucket, as if this is supposed to be our birthright. Get the fuck out of here. No, you make yourself crabs in a pot. Don't do that. Don't do that. Cause I'll next Monday I'll bring you behavior of since you always see you're the one that always wants to box it in black women. Why is it so important for these people to see black women and accept that the nobodies of society? Again, why can't you just take out the word black and just say women? Because not one time did I box it in. You're the one. It's just a mirror, drizzle, drizzle. Absolutely. You're the one that's still traumatized. You're the one that still wants to bring race into this. Not one time did I corner it and bring it into black women. But you insist on doing that because of my fair skin and my hair. But look at your profile picture. Oh no, you're too busy praising your 3 sons that you raised by yourself as a single mother. So Anissa said, okay, they're talking in the chat. Okay, so I know that this third video, this was really going to hit home. So let's go ahead and go with this third video and see what we got. How you doing, Mrs. She said, thank you for coming. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Go ahead and play that video because that's really going to take it.
Here are a list of things I expect men to do in marriage. Number 1, pay the rent, mortgage, and utilities. You know what I'm saying? And then if you have a home, like the property tax. 2, to do most of the cooking. I cook, but I don't really like to cook. So it's really a plus when I meet a guy who is really good at cooking. Number 3, the dishes. I don't like doing the dishes, so it would be great to have a man that just took that chore off of my hands. Number 4, do the laundry. And when I say do the laundry, I don't just mean like put the clothes in the wash. I mean like the whole process. Put the clothes in the wash, put the clothes in the dryer, put them up. Needs to be ironed, fold what needs to be fold. Like do the whole thing from A to Z. Number 8 is date nights at least twice a month, but that actually goes into like any form of recreational activities.
You saw how big that
When white women do this trend, y'all don't ask them what they bring to the table? How come when IG models talk about how they want a rich man and they want a man to pay for this and pay for that, y'all don't ask them what they're bringing? There has been so many people on this app to do this trend, and yet y'all are asking me what I bring to the table. Why do I have to answer that question?
I just want to see what he looks like.
Everything that they do in a relationship is so transactional, and they don't understand that that whole transactional mindset is what's ruining their relationships altogether. So they sit here and try to convince you that you have to work for every little thing, when in reality, the things that you're asking for are normal in a real relationship. They gaslight you, manipulate you, and then lo and behold, the relationship becomes controlling and abusive. Standards that I have to keep men like this away from me.
Good. Weeding them out. She hit on the nail.
There are short men that get women. There are fat men that get women. There's actually a lot of broke men that get women. If you, sir, are unable to maintain and pull women, that's not because you are fat, short, broke. It's because you're not a good person. And based on this comment, it's very obvious why women don't want to date.
Big
1, I'm going to stay with him. Number 2, I'm going to continue loving him. Number 3, I'm going to continue being his wife.
Wow. That was a hefty list. That was crazy. So you expect they will stay away, no worries. Absolutely. You don't even want to fold. So what are you going to do? She said her whole list. So she expects a man to go out and work 8-10 hours a day and then come home and cook, do the laundry, do the outside work, take her on dates, take her on trips. So what the hell is she doing? What is she going to do? Excuse me. I need somebody to please make me understand. And then I'm going to say what a lot of people are thinking. Come on. And I know this is going to be freaking mean. But you are demanding all this stuff and you look like that? Really? That's like me thinking that I can get a really high value man. I know that high value men don't like chubby girls. I've come to the realm of reality of that. But have I gotten high value men? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I have other strengths that men tend to overlook that. And sometimes they like it too. But you're one. And we're going to keep it real. We're not going to bullshit, okay? She was ugly. She was fugly. Okay? And you think that you're going to be able to embrace the kind of man that you had on your list? That is being delusional. And if you guys want to call me cruel and mean, y'all were thinking the same shit. And I'm the one that's going to voice what everybody's thinking. How about you go do your hair? How about you go put a nice outfit on if you're going to be online and have the audacity to talk about all these things that you want a man to do, but you look like a damn troll? Come on. Nah, bro. Nah, I can't do that. I can't. Somebody said Shorty looks like a Thundercats villain. Stop, okay? Stop. That was funny though. I mean, come on now. On here with a bonnet on. Exactly. You have the audacity to have all these expectations and standards. I want to know what you're going to do. What you're going to do. If you want a man to do all that, what are you going to bring to the table? And yes, men have a right. I don't understand why y'all women get offended and feel disrespected when a man asks you, what do you bring to the table? He's allowed to ask that question. He wants to know, what do you have to offer him? Why should he pick you? Because at the end of the day, it's the men that pick. We have access to sex, but at the end of the day, who asks who to get married? It's the man that gets on his knees and asks you. If he doesn't ask you to get married, you don't become a wife. Hello? Women looking like KRS-One want the same beauty and respect as Cardi B. That ain't gonna happen. I know my boundary. I mean, I also know I'm a pretty motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I know this. I've been told. I've modeled. I know that. But I don't use I have used pretty privilege before. Absolutely. Shit. You know, it has gotten me a lot of things, but I don't use it in an ill will manner. Embrace the grace. Men always make time for what they want to do. And so-called ugly black women get married and are pampered by their husband. Embrace the grace. But I'm talking about the one in the video. Let's stay focused. And there's a lot of trolls and hyenas out there that expect to get a guy like who's fine to me? Let me see. Who is fine to me? Who do I like? What's that singer?
I got my drink and my two-step.
No, okay, that's fine to me. Okay, you ain't shit, black man. But come on now. You have to date within your realm as far as looks, as far as finances, as far as skills, everything. You cannot no. Do looks matter? Absolutely. I'm sorry, but who respects Cardi besides the hyenas? Exactly. I mean, she's a beautiful girl. Yes, she is. And she talk about, I don't cook, I don't clean, and I got a ring. But I saw plenty of videos where she was sweeping and mopping and in a bonnet. And I knew that was all a lie because she's Dominican. She's from the islands. We're raised to cook and clean and everything. It's all a propaganda to get you to buy her records and stuff. But at the end of the day, she's a family woman. She takes care of her mom, takes care of her children, takes care of her man, no matter how much money she has. He picks, and it's rude to him to ask. Black men mean money about the table, and they say they don't care about black women's money, but oh yes they do. Yeah, they starting to, because we're making it such a big deal. They have to have money, have to have money, have to have money. So now they're saying, bitch, you gotta have money too. Beyonce sings single ladies, but more married than most. It's just lyrics. Exactly. And we all fell for it. Scrubs by TLC. We all fell for it. But you didn't miss out on a good guy. You don't know if that guy's car is in the shop and he's riding in the passenger seat with his best friend. But his car's in the shop. But we're so quick to judge. We're so quick to judge. It's like, come on, man. Stay in your lane. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have standards. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have boundaries. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is be realistic. Become that list that you want the other person to have. Become that list. If you want him to respect you, then you should be respectful. If you want him to be generous with you, then you need to be generous. If you want him to buy you a nice house, then you need to clean that nice house. Women act like something is wrong with doing that stuff. Keep your, Miss She said, this is you at night. we got a whole different, I always see you in the morning time, but I like it on Monday Night Mayhem. Keep your motherfucking house, kids, and ussy clean, ladies. Eat healthy and read a book. I know that's right. Absolutely. I know that's right, Biggie. I like that one, Miss She said. You wilding out tonight. I don't know. Common sense is kind of illegal now. Well, common sense is not so common anymore. That's the problem. I always told my son, you better get you one that know how to cook. Your daddy used to cook. I used to cook. Grandma used to cook. You didn't eat. You used to. It's now that he's become a teenager that he eats this crap, Chick-fil-A and Chipotle and stuff. But when he was little, you know, when he started eating solids, he was May, June, July, August, September, October, November. He was 7.5 months. We only went through baby foods for 3 weeks. He had all his teeth already by 7.5 months. And we were sitting on Thanksgiving and he was facing us and he saw his plate and he looked at our plate. He looked at his plate and he looked at our plate. And he went and grabbed him a turkey leg. And ever since then, he has been eating home-cooked meals. So I stressed it to him, you better get you one that know how to cook. Tits and ass is nice, and it's cute, and it's pretty. And your boys will be like, yeah. But when them kidneys touching that stomach in the back, don't call me. I'm going to be with my boo chilling. Getting my groove back.
I got my drink and my two-step.
Oh my God. Exactly. So bet you now, have I taught him how to cook as well? Absolutely. I told him, don't ever wait around for no woman to do nothing for you. You keep it moving. And that's how we need to bring up our kids. We need, you know, it's like we coddle the boys and treat the girls like shit. No, we need to take both of them in the kitchen. We need to take them both to know how to do things, male or woman, because there really is no gender roles anymore. Why? Because the woman is out there working 8, 9, 10, 11 hours because that's what we wanted, right? Don't complain now. No. Don't complain now. This is what you wanted. This is what you wanted, Cletus. Now don't go back. You're going to go back limping and go punch that clock and go to work, and you still got to come home And you're still expected to cook, you're still expected to clean, you're still expected to have sex, and you're still expected to fulfill your job duties as a wife. Don't come crying now. And the same goes for the men. If your woman is working, yes, you're paying all the bills, but you also got to help inside the house too, because she's working. Y'all wanted this change. Y'all wanted this. So don't freaking complain now. Okay? And a lot of us, I have noticed that we will give our lives to these corporate companies and clock in and be a hamster in a wheel just to keep up with the Joneses. So black men are following the black women's lead then. That's the drizzle. This is why black women want black men to get their passports with one-way tickets en masse, but they won't do it for some reason. Well, first of all, they're not following black women. What they're doing is mocking us. And it's not just black women. Oh my goodness. Y'all always the one that's accused me, but y'all the ones are the ones. First of all, they're not following us. What they're doing is mocking us. That's what they're doing, to show just how silly, stupid, delusional we look and sound. Trust, they're not following us because there is nothing to follow. What is there to follow? Unrealistic expectation? Delusion? Black men want to get their passports with one-way tickets en masse, but they don't do it for, and they are doing it. Come on, Travel One. You know there's a lot of men out here that got their passports and their passport bros. They're doing it. Good men don't fall in love with Uber Eats and DoorDash all the time. Absolutely, Lou. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach. After the invention of the 4-in-1 Ninja Grill, there are no excuses for making a good meal on a daily basis. Absolutely. You got crock pots. Okay. One hand washes the other, both hands washes the face. Absolutely. I know that's right. So emotional that they are choosing a bear over now. I haven't gotten into that, and I need to look into that. How the hell would a woman choose a bear over a man? Make that make sense. Do you see how stupid we sound? Cool bulk on the weekend, then mix and match till Wednesday. Look, let me tell you what me and my ex-husband used to do. We used to compare each other's schedule. Mine was always different because I worked in the fast food industry. He had a set schedule, and we would make out a menu. And we would say, okay, you're off this day, so you can cook that day. Well, you get off at 4, so you go ahead and season the meat, and I'll come in and do the sides. Or he'll be like, nah, I'll grill. You just come in. I mean, you got to work together. Especially if there's 2 people working in the household, but you still got to eat. And if you realize all the extra money that's being spent on Uber Eats and DoorDash, and I know groceries are expensive now, so sometimes it kind of offsets it, but you can cook for 2 days. Like, I love crock pots. I've learned to cook many things in crock pots, and it comes out good. By the time I come home, the house is smelling good, and all I got to do is put it together or make the sides. I mean, it's doable, but a lot of us are just lazy and don't want to do it or expect the other person to do it, and don't even have the audacity to say thank you. I want to talk shit that the food don't taste good. Then you cook. You show me you can do better. How many young women know how to cook nowadays? They don't even know how to boil water. Admit it, women are lazy, entitled, and delusional. Oh, not at all. Oh, I know. I can admit it, Miss. She said, oh, I know. I didn't see these type of women. Trust me, it is sexy working together to prepare meals. One can clean and season, and the other can bake and fry. Together we eat and laugh. You're absolutely right. put some music on, pop a bottle of wine. Hey, how you doing, honey?
What's going on?
I know you've been listening to me. And you're right, Lou. I used to love doing that with my ex, especially on like big holiday dinners. It was already known what he was supposed to cook for Thanksgiving and what I was supposed to cook. He used to work in a deli, so his potato salad was off the chain. But my mac and cheese is all of that. So that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a team, a team that works together, stays together. They just lazy. They don't want to cook. They don't want to clean. They don't want to, but expect to get and keep them there. Miss, she said, "I'm loving you tonight. You coming up in here causing mayhem on a Monday. You be quiet in the morning time. That's because you probably sipping on your coffee right now. You and Mr. He said are chilling. So how much have you heard, sir, and seen about what I'm talking about?"
Oh, I heard about the cooking part, so I had to jump on it immediately. I literally just walked in the house. Like, oh, hang on. Me and her have some beef from previous, like about our marinara, which one is better. But a woman, it is lazy to cook. I agree 100% to that because I remember one of my relationships was I always used to make her breakfast in bed. That was my thing every other Sunday.
Breakfast is my favorite meal. I love breakfast. Go ahead.
Yeah, so if it wasn't breakfast, I used to make for everybody, my mother, her kids, and so on. So I used to make a feast. Eggs, scrambled eggs, home fries, depends on whether pancake or French toast. We used to rotate that. Sausages. I mean, I had like 10 different entrees on there. Like some meals we did it together. Some other meals we did not do together. I let her handle the Spanish part because she, obviously she's a Latino. She was good at that. But I remember the old school ways. Like, I'm gonna get very graphic. You cooking together. Next minute, she's a little dirty. You kind of, kiss off the little, the little thing on her neck. Next minute, this stuff happens.
Next minute, you're on the kitchen floor. What we doing right now?
We're cooking.
What we doing?
We're technically we're doing a lot of things, and like we can
exactly. Oh wait, I gotta address this. Skinny boy, 20 boy. No, I do not make my mac and cheese out of a box. Have I done it? Regular dinner, but for holidays, no, honey. That is from scratch. You make a roux. You season your macaroni, your noodles. You season your cheese sauce. And you grate your cheese. You don't use that cheese in a bag because it has a protected lining on it that doesn't make it melt. And you throw in Gouda cheese in there. So trust me, I know. And I throw in cream cheese, chive. So trust me, my macaroni cheese is busting. So don't play me like that talking about. I knew you was kidding, but Kraft mac and cheese.
I'm gonna share a secret of my trade to everybody now.
Tell me.
You make mac and cheese. So everything you said, right? Let me ask you this: how do you make your roux? You use butter or oil?
Butter.
Use oil. Trust me.
Oil.
The oil actually duplicates the flavor. That's the only time you're allowed to use oil as a roux is for mac and cheese. The only time. If you're using anything else, use butter.
But wouldn't it make it harder for it to stick to the noodles with the oil?
Nope, because you're pouring it slowly. You want it. So the sauce is separate. You make the sauce first, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So as you're pouring in and you're whisking it, and you stop and let it go for a minute, and take a plastic spoon, not a metal spoon, dink it and hold it up. If it sticks on a plastic spoon, it's perfect.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I know that's right.
If it runs off like nothing sticks on it, if it sticks like this, a blob. It doesn't come off like, okay, that's too thick. You have to loosen it up. If you do one of these tests, like it drips off, but it holds still. You know what I'm trying to say, right?
So just like I throw my spaghetti on the kitchen cabinet. If it sticks, then you know it's done. That's
actually the first thing I learned how to cook was pasta back in Greece. And I told my girl, I'm like, she was joking, I throw it on the table. Okay, I want to throw it. She ducks. I didn't even literally throw it. I'm like, it sticks to the wall. He goes, that's how you know it's cooked.
That's how you know it's done. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know why couples, if you want a man or a woman to do certain things for you, you have to do certain things for them. It has to be reciprocation is vital, people. Men like to eat. Men need nourishment so they can go out every day and go work for us. They need and want food, and you know what else they need and want. So why do we have the audacity to hold out on that? But we want the man to do this, that, this, and this, and that, and this, and that, and this. But we barely do anything. Women don't want to follow instructions, i.e., no cookbooks. Exactly. You don't even have to get a cookbook anymore. Miss, she said you could just YouTube it. Do you know how many stuff and things I've cooked from YouTube channels and watching TikToks and things like that, trying new stuff? Even my son would bring it to me. Mom, can you try this and make it? I know you're going to, we call it, I know you're going to jazz it up. That's when you throw your own little, you know, I don't never take a recipe literally. I'll look at it and then I'll find ways to embrace it with my touch.
So I'm going to stop being Ghost of Sparta for a minute. I'm going to be Chef Pete right now.
Okay.
Teach everybody. So I tell my staff always, when you're cooking it, it's taste. I don't tell anybody to follow the recipes because it says a pinch here, just like fuck that. I took a stack of paper in my recipes. I throw them over my shoulder every time. I go, I want you to follow the recipes. Not denying that. If it says milk, use milk. Yada. Don't change the ingredients. But it comes to flavor, play with it. You being creative. Now baking, fuck that. That's all you, girl. You can bake all day long. You can do whatever. I am not a baker because that's a science behind that. But you tell me, make you.
See, I know how to make sweet potato pie, cheesecake, pound cake. What else?
Cheesecake.
Huh?
Can you make pumpkin cheesecake?
No. And I saw a recipe for sweet potato cheese.
You're shipping one over if you did.
I saw a recipe for sweet potato cheesecake. I'm like, oh my God. Red velvet cake, brownies. I mean, I like baking too. So I like doing all of it. I mean, like I have learned in these past 2-3 years while I was going through some trial and tribulations that I use cooking as therapy for me, especially if you put me in a gourmet kitchen. See, that's one of my expectations. If I get with somebody seriously and we buy a house together, it must have a gourmet kitchen. And all I got to do to get what I want from that man is say, baby, I need a gourmet kitchen so I can make you gourmet meals. See, do you see how you turn that around and make the man think that it was his idea? Baby, I need a good kitchen with industrial equipment so I can give you the meals that you want. And then, hey,
like some things I don't push back. And some things I will. Like, okay, when we're buying a house, like why? And this is one of the arguments I think I'm not with the woman anymore. We used to argue was the house. We were planning to buy a house, and she wanted this big house. I go, we don't have the money to put down for that type of house. And she's always money with you. She goes to me like, yeah, because we live.
Of course,
money. I have to think of it because you don't. Because she went and bought a car behind my back. At least get ready for the lease, or you're gonna fall back. If I tell you this, $750 a fucking month on a lease. And the first month, fine. Second month, fine. I go, I'm not paying you. You're gonna learn the hard way. I went to her. 6 months came around, pouring, crying. I can't afford this. I looked at her like,
no shit, Sherlock.
How late are you? I go to her. She goes, I'm not late yet. I'm going to. I go, next time, fucking listen to me. I went to her. And it's a good car. It was a fully loaded, great car, beautiful car. But you can't afford it. And that was the argument we were having with her. It was like she wanted this big house. I go, we don't need a big house like that. Let's scale it down. No. I want this, I want that. The kitchen I didn't argue about. That's some place everybody spends time in. You know, the wife and the husband are gonna have coffee together. You know, the kids are gonna be running around. The dog is probably.
And I like a kitchen where the living room is right there, so I can watch my game and cook at the same time. Or my guy is sitting there watching the game and still keeping me company. I don't need you all up underneath me, but your presence is enough for me. So if you're watching the game and I'm cooking, I'm a happy camper. Now, if he wants to go to his man cave, that's fine too. But I love entertaining. I love having gatherings. I love cooking. So it's fun to me. And I love seeing people eat my cooking. You know, that's what makes me, a lot of times I don't even eat when it's time to eat because I'm tasting so much and making sure that everything, I'm a taster. I got to make sure everything is right. If it's not seasoned well, so by the time dinner's ready, I'm barely not eating, but that's okay. Watching everybody else eat is happy to me. You know, how many women and how many let's not just do women. How many people get up and help get their spouses get ready for work? Do you know by sending off your spouse on a good day sets the tone for them? You get up, make them their coffee. You know, if they're not a breakfast person, give them some fruit, pack a lunch for them. I mean, I know this may all sound so old school, but it works. It works. Now, I'm going to put it out there for the haters. Yes, you could be doing everything right and shit'll still get fucked up. But that's okay, because nothing in life is guaranteed but death and taxes. So you're not going to do what you're supposed to do and show love to the person that you're with just because it might. I mean, you're not supposed to change who you are. You're not supposed to change the blueprint of who you are. I remember one time when my son at a really young age, he knew daddy and mommy were going through stuff and we were upset with each other. And he asked me one day, why are you still fixing his plate? He doesn't deserve for you to fix his plate. I said, because that's what I started doing when we was dating. That's what I've been doing for the past 12 years. And that's what I'm continue to do as long as we're under the same roof. I said, Jordan, you don't change who you are. I mean, you can make adjustments and tweak it, but you don't change who you are as a person because somebody else did you wrong. Or somebody else, it's you're compromising yourself. If I'm arguing with my other half, does that mean I'm not still going to cook dinner? He still has to eat. You know, he still has to eat. As mad as I am at you, I'm gonna still cook. Yep. Now, I'm not going to poison the food. I'm not, you know, maybe I may put it, you know, I know you got the next day off, maybe I'll put a laxative or something. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But the thing is that we stop doing the things that we're supposed to do. I don't care if you give me the silent treatment. That doesn't bother me anymore. Silent treatment don't bother me. You don't want to talk, that's fine. You'll talk when you're ready. I'm still going to cook. I'm still going to do your laundry. We're still, you know, you don't want to talk to me. You want to stay mad. It's all good. I'll holler.
So I got a funny story to tell you.
Go ahead.
So this is one of my serious relationships. So I stayed the night because it was, you know, whatever. And it was because, you know, it was closer to go to work that day because I was my early shift. I had to be there at 5 a.m. So I get up and she's already up. I'm like, I'm looking at my log. I'm like, what the fuck she's doing up? I'm like, I was going to just wake up, make myself a little coffee and leave. Cup of coffee is there and my coffee to go. You know, I looked at myself like, people still do this? I thought I was like the only one who does this. She goes, yeah. As relationship progressed, she started about cooking. I'm like, you know how to cook? And she's just laughing. I'm like, so you're an idiot. I'm like, I know I'm an idiot, but I'm not that stupid. But during that relationship, and we broke up for other reasons, whatever, doesn't matter. She did the things you're saying. Believe it or not, women out there who's listening to this, that's all men want. Cook and make me breakfast. And once in a while, just open your legs for me. That's all. Those are 3 things. It's not that hard. Just don't. And the fourth one, don't fake it. I'm like, I asked my best friend. I don't want to say names, but I asked him once, how do you keep your relationship going after 20 years? And how do you, you know, sex part too. To me, that's very important. He goes, dude, I just banged my wife 20 minutes before you get over here. Like, oh. He goes, you know how I keep it going? Take her on a date. But you're married. No, you don't understand, Pete. Just take her out. You and her, a dinner night. Even go to a hotel for one night. Oh. That's it? That is the secret. He goes to me. Happy wife, happy dick, he goes to me.
Happy wife, happy what?
Dick.
Happy wife, happy dick. Okay, I like that one.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, if women knew more, understood more the anatomy of men and the importance it is for a man to have sex and the frequency to have sex, they would understand. I mean, you guys know my famous saying about, you know what, I'm not going to say it because he probably has the clip up. He probably has the clip. Let him find the clip. I'm not going to say
you.
it.
If you don't, I'm going to buzz you.
Less nagging and more gagging, ladies and gentlemen. Okay?
Thank you.
You're fussing all the damn time. You're doing this. You're doing that. Come on. Just stop it. And then it was crazy. You have all this delusional expectations. And then, you know, I remember my dad used to tell my brother, hey, you see your mother? She ain't going nowhere. Why? Because I'm making sure I take care of every one of her needs, that she's not even going to think about another man. It's easy to get the girl. The question is, can you keep the girl? Can you keep the person? It can go either man or woman. Women can get dick at any time. I could just call up a number. You know, it's easier for women than it is for men. But can we keep the one that we really want? That's the beauty of it. But we don't, because we don't want to put the work in. It's what we have. What can you do for me? What have you done for me lately? And I want your bag. Chase the bag.
The key thing you just said, work. So one of my issues with that one relationship I was telling you about before was she not showing emotions. Like, tell me you want me. Tell me you're missing me. Fight for me. Argue for me. It was like, I'm screaming in my lungs and arguing with you, but you go, huh? That's it? You don't give a shit? Where is the fight?
Yeah.
Fight for me. If you fight for me, you got me for life. But if you're just going to say, what's the point of me doing everything I do? What's the point of me buying you flowers? What's the point of me cooking you dinner? What's my point doing this and that?
When was the last time us women told our men, thank you, I appreciate you. Thank you for all you do for me and the kids. You know, Mabe, I'm taking the kids with me. I'm going to leave the house. I done made some chicken wings. I call it fat people fries when I make those fries. I done made you some lemon pepper wings, buffalo wings, some fat people fries. And I baked some brownies and stuff. And your favorite beer and bottle of liquor is there. Have fun. I'm going to take the kids and we out. I mean, why can't we do that for our men? Like for example, let's see Father's Day now. All the supermarkets look like it threw up balloons and flowers. Let's see if we have that same energy for Father's Day. You'll see 2 or 3 balloons and a steak in a heart-shaped box.
It's disgusting.
Exactly. And I don't understand why we don't value men more. Because without men, this world wouldn't operate. Women are just so thinking that we don't need a man. We don't need a man. We don't need a man. Let all the men leave this country and see how the trash is going to be taken care of. The sewer systems are going to be taken care of. When our cars break down, look, my microwave just died right now. I have no microwave. I'm like, and it's a big one, so I gotta carry it to the dumpster. Who you think I call? I call maintenance. Y'all better come get this microwave. I'm not carrying that microwave to the dumpster. We need men. Men need women. We need each other. And for women to walk around here and talking about I don't need no man, all right, y'all keep thinking that. You keep thinking that, Cletus. You come over here walking, but you go back limping. We need our men, and stop being in denial. Stop trying to act so hard all the time, like you don't care. Like because you know what? At the end of the day, when you go by your dog and living with 7 cats and you die alone, don't nobody want to hear your fucking sob story. When nobody's at the hospital holding your hand and guiding you to go meet your maker and praying over you, don't say shit to me. Don't. And I'm talking to the men too, because a lot of y'all men treat us like shit too. I got, at the end of the day, I'm a woman too, and I got to talk on the women too. There's a lot of men out there that have missed out on a lot of good women because you rather have the big tits and ass versus the average girl who's a good girl. I mean, it goes both ways, guys, but it's much, much more prevalent with the women. A man will be willing to date down. There are millionaires that would date somebody average and lift them and bring them up. But how many women who are up there are willing to date an average man? They're not. They're not. Hi, Braxton. How you doing? What's up, Drip Show? I appreciate you coming in and dropping that drip. Appreciate it. So tell me another story, grooming and reviews, where you was in a relationship with somebody and you just like was shocked about, like, did this motherfucker really just do this and not appreciate what I did? I mean, was there ever a time when you bought a gift for somebody and the girl just blew it off, or, I mean, just made you feel little because she wasn't appreciative?
Actually, yes, it was where this is gonna be a rough one for me. So this one was my not my current relationship, my last one. The reason I said it was rough because it brings a lot of PTSD in a way. She was very verbal and physical abusive towards me. So she had a very beautiful ring. I paid $20K for it, and so being a Spanish woman, you know, she's talking to her Spanish friends. So I don't care. She made friends at K Jewelers. So she told her. I found out later on. She talked to him in Spanish, saying, "Hey, tell your man we're on a deal. If you trade in the ring, you can get upgraded and just pay a little difference. Maybe like 5 to 10K only difference. So her ring will be, except be like a 20, be a 30 or 40K. I'm go. I just pay that ring off. It's just only not even a year old. I go, no. She was screaming so hard in the car, my ears was ringing for a week. When we got home, she reorganized my face.
Yeah. Holy! Just because you wouldn't get her the ring that she wanted?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would rather take that money and go put in a down payment on the house.
Exactly.
And again, I have to be reasonable with my embracers and all my Black Man Unfiltered audience. I am older. I am in a different space, and I think different, and my mindset have changed. Absolutely. The fact that money never really impressed me growing up, because I grew up with money. There is nothing that my daddy didn't do for me that no man can possibly do. So I would purposely date your average guys. It didn't bother me. What mattered to me is how you treated me. What mattered to me is how you talked to me. Talk to me nice. Talk to me twice. You know what I'm saying? And you'll get what you want. I was taught how to cook. I was taught how to be a wife. I was taught to respect and value men from a very early age. Even on our first date, it starts on our first date. I mean, it just goes into I just can't help myself. Will you take me out to eat? I am taking the straw wrapper off and putting it in your drink. If we get bread and butter, I'm asking you. Now, if I really, really like you, you know, this will let you know if you're getting a second date. If I'm getting bread and butter, I'll ask him, "Did you want bread and butter?" And if he says yes, I'll be like, "Do you mind if I butter your bread?" You know, that's an icebreaker right there. You know, because usually some guys will say, "I want to butter more than you." So I start very early on and let a man know what he's getting himself into. Okay. I've learned not to go too hard in the paint at the beginning, but I have to allow you. I wait and see, is he going to order for me? Oh, I saw what you wrote, Trey. I saw what you wrote. Yes, tits and ass matter, but what's the good of having tits and ass if she treats you like shit and doesn't cook for you and thinks she's too good to, you know, do what, you know, trying to keep it ladylike. What you have to say? Because you laughing. You've been holding shit in. What you got to say?
If the tits and ass are right, she ain't gonna never have to cook.
So what you gonna eat?
I cook myself. I probably cook better than most women. I probably cook better than most women.
And I believe you, because a lot of men, but why is it that men know how to cook and women don't know how to cook? What is it? The mothers are taking the men in the kitchen? What is this phenomenon that men know how to cook and women don't?
I think because we have an attention to detail. Men have a natural attention to detail. So for instance, the way my mom makes mac and cheese, I just watched her make it and I can make it. I just watched her do it and I can make it. So I think because we pay attention to the small things, you know what I mean? Like it's just easier for us to pick it up and to say, okay, this goes here and this tastes this way, and you know what I mean? Like it's just a slight bit easier for us in that sense, just because we have an eye for small things. We pay attention to. Grandma, you know, her secret was the vanilla or the nutmeg or whatever. You know, we pay attention to those little things. But I know a lot of guys. A matter of fact, you know, all my friends are married, and a lot of them, they cook much better than their wives. They cook much better than their wives do.
That's crazy to me.
And I know a few guys that are married and stuff like you said, Trey, and they can pretty boil water. And like my buddy King, he does not how to cook or anything. He's horrible at it. I'm not even joking. I wish I was.
My son was peeling potatoes from the age of 3. Because I knew that I would need him when he got older, because I don't like doing the hard labor. So now he is my potato peeler for the potato salad and the sweet potato pies. And he can do it so quick, because that was his only job when he was a baby. And he even got cut one time, and I said, keep going. Well, Mom, I got blood. Don't worry about it. I cleaned up his blood, threw away that potato, and we kept it going. And you see him now for Thanksgiving. That's you know, it started early.
For some men, it's almost therapeutic. I know for me, I turn on my R&B, and I get in the kitchen, and I'm good. Like I'm in a good place, especially like the weather right now, because it's changing. You know, I live on the East Coast, so we getting spring is coming, the summer's coming. I fire up that grill, and I'm good. I'm in heaven. You know what I mean? The music's going. Give me a nice little glass of wine, and I'm cooking. You know, and once I realized that women like men who cook, I was sold. You know what I mean?
The weight of my heart is through my stomach. I know that's a guy thing, but if you can cook, that lets me know I don't have to cook every night. So when I do cook, I'm gonna enjoy cooking. You know, we can cook together. Like Grooming said, that can turn into a whole different scenario. We'll start off with our clothes on, but end up on the kitchen floor, butt booty naked.
Cooking together is an aphrodisiac. That can absolutely go a whole different direction if you both are in that kitchen together. And the other thing too is you actually, to me, there are very few things that a woman can teach a man. But one of the things a woman can actually teach is, hey, here's how to cook this. Here's how to make this. I was watching this video of a woman. She was going away for a week from her husband. She had never been away from her husband for like longer than a day or two. So she was going away for a week. She was literally walking this man through the house on how to wash his clothes, how to cook, because he never had to do it. His main focus was go to work, provide. You know what I mean? He never had to wash his own clothes. He never had to cook his own food. So because he was going away for so long, she was literally walking him through everything in the house. And I think to myself often, Grace, what could a woman teach? That's been kind of starting to become a little bit important to me. Because when you deal with women who live in other countries, if you ask them, show me your city, they can show you. They'll take you all around the city. This happened here. This person painted this. This is the history. And I thought to myself, I'm from DC. How many women in Washington, D.C. could actually take me around Washington, D.C. and explain to me they can't do it?
None. You're right. Now, I can't do that, but I can take you to the stadium and go watch a game. You know, that's what I like. I'm into sports and stuff. Rest in peace to my Knicks. I'm still upset about that. I can't believe they lost that game.
Y'all were banged up all year. I mean, it's amazing I even got that far.
I didn't watch the game, thank God. I was busy doing other stuff, but it's okay. We did better than we did in 20 years. That's progress. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I have to go for Boston because I don't want Indiana to win because they beat up on my Knicks. So I need to get my get back. I know. That is just like so opposite. I know that you're right. Not only that, laundry too. Women make such a big deal about laundry, but are you really doing the laundry? It's the fucking washing machine doing the laundry. What is the big deal?
Yeah, I've been saying.
And don't let it pile up.
I've been saying that in today's age, you don't have a washing board and a bucket. You're not going out back and scrubbing the actual clothes anymore. You're separating, stain remover, throwing them in, pressing, adding detergent and fabric softener, and pressing a button. The most work you will do is the folding and putting away of clothes.
And I hate folding and putting it away. So I made it a point to teach my son how to do it, and he got really good at it. So I would dump all the clothes on the pool table, and I'd be like, "There you go." You know what I mean? His clothes. Our clothes was too big for him to fold and stuff like that. But it's like, why are we making such a big deal out of things when if you just stay on top of it little by little? There are things that you can cook. Season the meat the night before. Plan your meals. Cook extra. Like when you do, I do a good chicken pot pie, homemade. Not the crust. I'm not that good. I don't have time to knead flour and all that bullshit. But I will cook the kitchen and make the insides of a pot pie in a crock pot, and I could get 2-3 pies out of it. Freeze one for another meal. If my son comes home and he's hungry, all he got to do is store it in the oven. When I make marinara sauce, I make a whole pot, freeze the rest, and use it. What is the big deal, ladies and gentlemen? What is the big deal? But you want a man to buy you a $5,000 Birkin, but you can't even boil water. I mean, make it make sense. I just don't get it. Did you see any other videos I played?
No, I'm sorry. Late.
Black Man Unfiltered. Can you play the first video? Trey will appreciate that one. I don't want to do the third one because Trey will go bananas with that one.
Broke
the first one.
Got something to say.
You know me? How you know I'm broke?
You live here, don't you?
Yeah, I stay by myself.
What's that supposed to mean?
Wait, you calling me broke because I stay here?
Yeah.
In the same complex that you stay in?
Yeah.
How that make sense?
Any nigga try to talk to me has to have a shit together.
Curious to know, what all does a guy need to qualify to date you?
He needs to have his own crib, not an apartment. His own car that's not busted. At least making 6 figures and know how to treat me like a princess.
How old you is?
22.
You stay here by yourself?
I live with my mom.
This your car?
I share it with her too.
What you do for a living?
I work at Wendy's.
That's it?
Yeah.
So how the f do you expect a nigga to have all that when you ain't got none of it?
What he need to worry about is what he got going on. That's all that matters.
So he gotta pull up on you every time y'all hang out. Like you ain't even got the option to do that for him.
Okay, mind your damn business and go on about your day, trash man.
Where the f that came from?
You taking out the trash, aren't you?
Yeah, like a normal person would.
My nigga would have them come get it from the house.
He still gotta take it to the Ma'am, you have a nice day. I hope your delusion come to life.
Delusion? What's that supposed to mean?
You still talking? Broco's always got something to say.
You see what I'm saying? You calling him broke because he living in the same exact complex that you're living in with your mama. You want him to make 6 figures, but you flipping burgers at Wendy's.
Yeah, but I'm always a little bit confused by these skits, right? I get the gist of it. The gist of it is you can't expect something from somebody and you aren't living up to that. I get it. But at the same time, I don't want that. I'm not looking for a 6-figure woman. That's not what most men are not looking for that. So I always get a little bit confused because she has these standards and they are delusional and they are unrealistic. However, if the retort is, well, what are you doing? But that shouldn't be the retort. That should not be the answer. The answer should be, he's 22. Anybody who knows anything about being a man knows that 22-year-old millionaires are almost rare. It's almost never happens.
Exactly.
Even $100,000 for a 22-year-old is extremely rare. The retort shouldn't be, well, what are you doing? Because then that puts her in a masculine position. I'm not looking for her to be masculine. I'm not looking for her to have a career. I'm not looking for her. I need her to be a wife and a mother. I need her to know how to cook and clean, like we've been talking about. I don't need her to go get a job and live in the same neighborhood I live in and have the same car I have and have the same. That's not what I'm looking for. So I always get a little bit confused as why is that the answer versus the answer being, I'm 22. Of course I'm broke. Like, I'm 22. Of course I'm broke. Most 22-year-olds are broke. I was 22. I was in the military, I had a job, and I was broke, right? Most men are broke versus a 40-year-old, which I am now. I am much further ahead financially now than I was when I was 22, but it's an 18-year difference in between. I've had 18
Of
years
course.
to build. The majority of millionaires in America are in their 50s. Majority of billionaires are in late 50s and early 60s and beyond that. It takes time for men to build this thing. But the response should not be, well, what do you have? Because that sounds a lot more like equality to me versus actual man and woman being different.
I hear you. Trey, do you have a daughter or a son?
A daughter.
Okay. What do you tell your daughter how she should be towards a man? Because we're always so busy telling how men should treat women, but you have a daughter. What do you talk to her about as far as how she should interact with? I mean, how old is she? Maybe it's not appropriate yet.
Yeah, it's not she's 5. So it's not
Oh, she a baby.
However, I have to prepare. And one of the things that I've had to fight my mother, grandmother, sister, and even her mother, and her mother's mother, and she has 2 sisters. I've had to fight them because they come from feminist, independent, don't rely on a man. And we have gotten into it because I've said, if you teach my daughter, our daughter, not to rely on a man, what am I here for? Because I'm a man and she is reliant upon me. I am her father. The purpose here is for me to vet the man so that she can go from relying on me to rely on him. That's how this is supposed to work, right? But
And
this
what did they
idea
say?
of you don't rely on me, and then you move on, and then you don't rely on any men at all. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's not what I'm teaching my daughter. I want my daughter to be comfortable, and that it's okay to rely on a man because you have vetted said man properly. You have taken him to your father, who has also vetted said man properly, and he is going to take care of you.
And that's why you walk down the aisle with your father, and the father hands you over to the husband. The father's saying, here, I give you my daughter. Now it's your turn to take care of her, and don't bring her ass back. No, I'm just kidding. But you see, it's supposed to be an ongoing thing. But when we teach our daughters to be strong and independent, and you don't need no man, I could do all bad by myself. Okay. Well, we'll see when the shit hits the fan and there's martial law and there's no food in the grocery shelves and there's no toilet paper or sanitizer or Clorox wipes. Who's going to help you get? Oh, wait, the bear's going to get it. That's right. The bear's going to get everything she needs.
Choosing a bear over a man is the most insane thing I've ever heard.
Choosing a man over a bear, where the bear can eat you alive and the man can eat you to ecstasy. I mean, come on now. What we doing right here, ladies? You picking a bear?
Because
get out of here.
There's such an attack on. Here's the thing. Men often do things too well, right? We do things too good. And what we've done is we've created a world that has incentivized and made the world so comfortable for we did it too well. There's no hardship anymore, right? They don't have to struggle anymore, right? There's no, if they want to go do something, well, they can go to a bank and they can go borrow a ton of money and go get the car that they want, go get the house that they want, and then they spend the rest of their life paying it off in debt. We've made it we did too well. Men, the infrastructure, we did it too well now that women are just like, well, we don't need jobs. Well, technically, we all need men. I am reliant on men. I don't churn on my own electricity or water, right? Or heat, right? I know how to change the oil on my car, but I don't do it. You know what I mean? Like I know how to do a lot of things, but I don't do it. I myself am reliant upon truck drivers. You know how
Absolutely.
truck drivers just said, we're done. We're not doing this anymore. We'd be up Schitt's Creek without a paddle if truck drivers shut it down. Remember, I don't know if you remember, Grace, a couple years ago, maybe a year ago, we had the shipping containers was in the ocean, and they couldn't get, and we were having supply issues all of a sudden because they couldn't get these shipping containers over here. People losing their minds. Yeah,
Wasn't
that's
that out
how
in New
the
York?
world would be if these men decided that they don't want to do. Nobody is independent, and we need to stop confusing adulting with being independent. No, sweetheart, you pay your bills. You're an adult. Welcome to the club, because that's what we all do.
You don't get a gold star for doing what you're already supposed to be doing. You get a gold star when you go above and beyond. You know what I'm saying? But you don't get a gold. No, like I get praised every Thanksgiving because I guess it's weird that my dinner's ready by 1:00. I don't fucking play because I want to watch the football game too. I'm not gonna be stuck in the kitchen while everybody comes over and is hanging out. No. So what do? I start prepping my Thanksgiving dinner on a Monday. Them pies is the first thing that I do because they're sitting in the fridge. The longer they sit in the fridge, the more the seasonings sit in. Then I'm doing my prep on Tuesday. Wednesday, I season the turkey. See, so everything takes time and finesse. But women people want instant gratification. People want things. I need it now, but right now. And it's not going to happen if you want a good relationship. It takes time. It takes getting to know each other. It takes to see, you and me, Trey, we're dating. I'm really going to know who you are in our first argument. How do you deal with me when we argue for the first time? Like I would never. Let's say you and me are on our way to your family's house for a barbecue, and we arguing like cats and dogs in that car. Soon as we get out, hey babe, I'm still gonna fix your plate. I'm still gonna refresh your drink. I ain't gonna let nobody know that we arguing because first of all, people love to see misery. I'm not gonna come up in your family house knowing that we arguing. I'm gonna take it out on the spades game. you know? And then as soon as we get right back in the car, I'm not gonna come up and there's always a time and a place for it. You know how many times I've seen people, and I'm not just saying women, disrespect each other in public and then expect to get banged out at night like a screen door in a hurricane, like nothing ever happened. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I gotta be mentally connected for her to be okay with everything. I can't do it. Maybe again, I'm in a different space. I'm older. Things are different for me. If I'm not connecting with you mentally and you're not stimulating me here, she's not gonna follow. She's not. But I don't give a fuck. This generation and a lot of younger people, it's crazy, and we are so lost. You have to tell your daughter now at 5 years old. Yes, you need men. Yes, you respect men. You value. Just like my dad taught me. You see your father, you see me, you see your uncles and your cousins. All you got to do is dial one number and 5 of us will pick up the phone because that's our job as men. But now your job as a woman is to, make sure we're good, make sure we're fed, make sure when we come home, the house is clean, the house is smelling good, clothes are put up, clothes are washed. Am I perfect? No. Have I slacked sometimes? Absolutely. But I make sure it gets done. I delegate it to get it done. That's why you got kids for, guys. Give them chores and stuff, and you get shit done. That you teach them how you want it done. They do it right, and then you delegate it. And shit, I only had one, so I couldn't give him too many chores. But them ones that got 3, 4, 5 kids, you better delegate shit out and get shit done, and then take all the credit. And tell your husband, yeah, baby, everything's done.
It was moms like you that had me starting to wash my clothes at 8 years old. My mom taught me how to do my laundry at 8, and I'll never forget it because we didn't have a dryer. We didn't have a dryer. We only had a washing machine, and so I literally had to go out back and hang the clothes up like on a line. You know what I mean? I had to learn how to do it that way. Clothespins, the whole nine, until we got a dryer. Look, I think chores for kids are great. I think it's important. My daughter, her
Absolutely.
first chore ever was to make up her bed every day, and then we were starting to progress to her cleaning her bathroom. You know, she's a spoiled child; she has her own bathroom, so you know, we're progressing to her cleaning her sink and things of that nature. And eventually, we'll work as she gets older. We'll add more responsibilities. But you know, look, a lot of the old ways are gone, and I don't know if they're gone for the better. It would appear, if you looking at it, it appears that it's gone away, and it's things are only getting worse. They're not getting better. And you know, in today's age, you can tell the difference between people who were raised in a sort of, you know, strict or traditional home versus, you know, people who were raised in a more liberal, you know, I can shout at my mom and tell my dad to go to hell, you know, type of home. I watched a kid today, man. This woman, you know, with her 2 kids, you know, she's talking about, you got 5 seconds to do this. And I wish I got 5 seconds. I wish it was a countdown for me to, you know, to get my act together. There was no countdown. It was do it now or suffer the consequences. You know, people are giving their kids all these opportunities, and nobody wants to be the bad guy and pop their kid in public. You know, I'm the father that if you say something to me, my responsibility, well, if you keep talking, I'm gonna pop you next. Like that's the type of person I am. Don't get in between me and how people discipline their children. As long as they're not abusing them, I'm fine. But a lot of, you know, I've talked about this a million times, Grace. You have to discipline your child based on the child. Every child is different. You can't.
Yep.
You know, what works for one child will not work for the other child. Some kids need a physical reminder. Other kids are perfectly okay with just a verbal reminder or some sort of negative reinforcement, taking something away.
It's what they respond to.
Right.
Like I'll never forget the day my mom was in from out of town, and I was told by my husband that he wanted our son at home by 8:30 in his pajamas, bathed and fed by 8:30 every night, and be in his chill mode. And he would literally call, because he was all off the road truck driver, and check to see if that was done. And there were exceptions, because he used to say us women don't respect little people and we lose track of time, and nothing good happens having your children out late at night. And I respected that fact. I really did. I learned that from him. So we're in the stores all day. Jordan is acting up and he's having a shit fit in the store. And I told Mom, we have to go. It is 6 o'clock. This is his whining. No, a little bit more, a little bit more. I said, I'm going outside. Because, you know, I'm the type of mom that if you're screaming and carry on, I remove you. I don't just, but what I did was, he was having a temper tantrum and he fell to the floor. And I let him. I didn't pick him up. I didn't do nothing. I just let him. And then some Karen comes up to me and says, so you're just going to let him cry? You're just going to let him? I said, yeah, because I'm trying to make sure that when he's 18, he don't rob your punk ass. Okay, because if I give in to every little temper tantrum, then he's gonna know that all he has to do is cry and pull a temper tantrum, and he'll get whatever he wants. So when he finally got done, and I asked him, I said, "So are you done?" He was like, "Mommy, I'm hungry." I said, "Okay, I will." He didn't even make it through the second window at McDonald's. I bought him a fry and a shake. He was so tired he had fell asleep. But this is what happens. Men bring structure and discipline and routine to a household. And this is why they're so important as fathers and husbands. My child would not make it past 9 o'clock at night to go to bed. He was not one of these children that it took 2-3 hours to fall asleep, because I would tire his ass out. I would purposely wait till 6 o'clock to pick him up at aftercare, because I'm going to get every money. I'm going to get my money's worth. And then 6 o'clock, boom, bath time, story time. I would make sure that the homework is done, because I would tell the teachers at the aftercare, look, I'm paying good money. Y'all better get this homework done and stop with this bullshit of playing with games and stuff. This is why we have aftercare. I'm not expecting all the homework to be done, but the majority of it. And by 8:30, 9 o'clock, he was in the bed, knocked. Even on Fridays and Saturdays, he wouldn't make it past 10 o'clock. And that's why it's important. And I see my other brother from another mother. How you doing tonight, sir?
Good evening.
Ooh. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening. I'm well. I just finished up my
Humble Dad.
podcast with Humble Dad. Yeah.
What was that about tonight?
Can women be the answer? It was a pretty good podcast, man. And we talked about women being, better women. You know what I'm saying? How can they, be the answer to this quote unquote gender war? And I think it was actually pretty good. And I see we're carrying on the conversation over here as well. So as you see, the
Yeah,
work is never done.
mine tonight is about the delusional expectations that women have and really think that they can have everything on this list, but not are willing to be the list. I'm like, where they do that at? Lost. Tell me as a man and you dating and trying to find the one, do you think women have are delusional and have unrealistic expectations?
I will tell you this. I think women have been done a disservice, man. A lot of people
By whom?
by the advertisers. You know what I'm saying? Those who seek to rob them of their humanity. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. We talked about it earlier, how women have been marketed to as they're less than. If you just buy this thing, you'll be better. If you get this wig or these nails, you'll be a better woman. You know what I mean? In the beginning, God said you're enough. You know what I'm saying? And it was like when he walked around and he told Adam, he said, who told you were naked? Who told women that they weren't enough? If you go back and you look at antiquity and you look at all these, pyramids and writings on the wall, the women were right there with the men inscribed on the wall. So it's not like women have been, oppressed or anything like that. And which I find is wild with this gender war, as the talking points is that women have not always been able to vote, and women have always not been able to have their own checking accounts and stuff like that. Well, you have to ask yourself, was it your husband, who was standing at the bank saying, no, you can't get a checking account? Was it your husband standing in the schoolhouse door at the University of Alabama saying, hey, you can't get education? No. Men have never been, your husbands have never been your adversary. It's always those who seek to destroy you and tell you that you're not enough. And I think a lot of times women grab hold to these things, these 4B movements and any other type of movement, because somebody told them that they were not enough. And I think sometimes women have gotten away from being better women. I told Humble Dad on his podcast, I said, men make terrible wives, but women make even terrible husbands. You see what I'm saying? And for the simple fact is, most women don't want a soft man, and most men don't want a hard woman. You know what I mean? Men should get back to being men, and women should get back to being women. Because here's the thing: if the men are being busy being men, and if the women want to be men, then who's going to be the women? You see what I'm saying? So my whole thing is this: you respect the position. You know what I mean? Respect who you are and what you're built for. You're built to nurture. You're built to love. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why you're soft. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why you're made, fearfully and wonderfully made. You see what I'm saying? Get back to that. I use the example about Chick-fil-A. If you go to Chick-fil-A, it's always my pleasure. You know what I'm saying? They always make you feel warm and welcoming. And I think women back in the day used to be warm and welcoming, because whenever you went over to a woman's house or a wife's house, and she would always ask you, well, baby, have you eaten yet? You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. She was always concerned with your well-being. And I think what happens is when you get a whole bunch of people who are busy being selfish instead of worrying about the well-being of others, then I think that takes the onus off of the grand scheme of everything, is to make sure that everybody's okay. Because men are always going to ask you, baby, what you need? You know what I'm saying? What can I do for you? Because that's what we built for that. You know what I'm saying? Men are the romantics. They're the one who buys the flowers. They're the ones who buys the candies. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones who write the love songs. You know what I'm saying? Those are the swooners, the balladeers. You see what I'm saying? The men who know how to love. Those are the head lovers in chief. You see what I'm saying? But we also need women to realize that you are loved. And I think the problem is, I think some women have felt like, they have been sold a bill of goods that they aren't enough. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a disservice to them. So I think we as men, we have to get back to saying, you know, hey, women, don't listen to these people. They're just trying to take your money out your pockets. You know, I was looking at a graph the other day. They updated the black demographics, and we used to be next to last, but now we're dead last. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, we spend $1.58 trillion, and I'm thinking to myself, how is it that we're spending $1.8 trillion on things when we're at the bottom? Something just doesn't
and
add up.
20% is on luxury items alone.
Either we're making the money or we're not. Somebody's lying. You see
We're
what I'm
making
saying?
the money, but we're foolishly spending the money. We're not building generational wealth. We're just thinking about next Saturday and the club and the latest Jordans and the PS5. We're not thinking. As soon as my son had a Social Security number, boom, 529 life insurance policy. So like right now, he's graduating at 18.
Right.
Got 4 accounts, got stocks at his job, has 850 credit because I set him up with my credit cards as an authorized user. I mean, he's good. He's about to go spend the summer with his dad, and then he's going straight to college.
But here's my thing. Don't you wish that he had a nice wife? You know, it's
I want him to have a nice wife, and I talk to him a lot.
It's like Trey mother said, you know, son, I'm gonna teach you how to wash your clothes because I don't think the women that you're gonna have to deal with are going to be wives. You know, Trey, I want you to be able to take care of yourself. Here's how you cook for yourself, son. Because I had that same conversation with my mother when I was about Trey age, when he was about 8. She's like, son, I don't know what to tell you because I see the type of girls that are being raised, and you may not get one of those fantastic wives like your daddy did. You see what I'm saying? And your granddaddy did. But in the midst, you still need to be able to take care of yourself. So here's how you do the things that you need to do so you're not missing out. So when Trey said that, I could relate to that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I told my son, I need you to never feel like you need a woman. And they do have the best wings, Trey. You're right. That you never need a woman. You may want a woman, but I think my dad did a disservice to me because you don't say that to a daughter. He used to say to me, I don't ever want you to feel like you need a man, but you may want a man. But that to me, if he were still alive, I would tell him, Dad, you shouldn't have said that to me because I'm always going to need a man. Look, you're gone now. You can't give me or supply or provide for me the things that you did for me. You know, so to a girl, to a daughter, you don't, but to a boy, the only thing is I'm very funny about laundry. I don't like nobody doing my laundry. So I taught him how to separate, you know, what's used for what, but I didn't trust the kid to wash clothes.
No,
so that didn't happen. That didn't happen till I made him wash his own clothes.
Think about it, Grace. As a man, your dad is always going to have to teach you how to be a man anyway. So we already got man stuff we got to learn. But at the same time, our moms are realistic and say, hey, look, while your dad's teaching you this, here's something else that you can learn. And you can tell the guys who went to the military who had a dad in their life, they don't complain when the drill sergeant comes in and says, hey, I need you to do the 4 corners on your bed. You know what I'm saying? I need you to shine your shoes and have some pride in yourself.
That belt buckle.
You know what I'm saying? Make sure everything is shined up the way it should be. That's stuff that men teach other men. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, mothers already know, son, this is what you're going to have to deal with. So in the meantime, I'm going to show you how to cook your favorite meal that you love your mama to make. You know what I'm saying? I told my mom before she leave this earth, she's going to teach me how to make her banana pudding. And guess what I learned? So if she leaves this earth, I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? I got a little piece of mom that I'm going to take with me until I get up out of here. But I say this to say that is that sometimes we have to be realistic about what we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And I think that women need to get back to being wives and mothers. Think about it, man. On my grandfather's and grandmother's tombstone, he was in the military. On his tombstone, it says loving father and husband. And on her tombstone, it said loving wife and mother. It didn't say anything about PhD. It didn't say anything about foreman at the plant. You know what I'm saying? It didn't say any of that. You know, it comes back to being husbands and wives. And I think that profession, if you take a look back and you look at it, that's enough to keep you busy. You see what I'm saying? We work so we can take care of our families and have the time that we need to bond and build better people. But if we're too busy focused on what we're going to do with our lives, instead of actually letting our families be what we do for our lives, then I think we're doing our families a disservice. You know what I'm saying? I tell my wife in the day, I don't care what I do, as long as the family's taken care of. You know, if I have to be a janitor, I will. You know, if I have to be an engineer, I will. But at the end of the day, nothing's more important than his family. And I think sometimes the women have gotten it backwards. Is as if they want the spotlight to be on them. You know, I want to be a PhD. You know what I'm saying? I want to do this. I want to do that. Well, why? Is it to better your family, or is it to service your ego? And I think, to speak to what Trey and what Grooming was saying, is it's more of an ego service thing than it is a family service thing. So I think we need to get back to doing that.
I remember my dad telling my brother, a man does whatever he has to do to take care of his family. If you got to shovel shit for a living, then that's what the hell you do. But you make sure you come home and you walk in the house with your head up high, and you know you're taking care of your family. And that's all I saw from my dad. So I can't, anything less to me is uncivilized.
Well, at one point in time, that was it was respected. The nature of the occupation was irrelevant. It was what type of man, what type of character did he have, what type of values, morals? Was he a man of God, and was he taking care of his family? And whether or not he shoveled shit or picked up trash for a living, nobody cared. It wasn't relevant. What has happened now is that titles matter more to women than the man themselves, and what type of man he actually is. Is he the president or vice president or regional senior manager of such and such and such? Who cares? It doesn't matter. And not only were they respected, their wives treated them a certain way because of what they did. There was a point in time when men would go to work and bring the check home and give it to their wife because the money was irrelevant. They didn't care. They didn't care about the money. They knew it was their job to take care of their family. They went to work. Listen, I'm thankful for having my uncle in my life. He taught me a lot of things about what it was to be a man. And one thing I truly understand is that no matter how much money I get, that won't matter if my character and my values and my morals are
exactly
trash.
But it's all about chasing the bag, Trey. Chasing the bag.
Well, make no mistake. I am a capitalist. I am about making money. Let's be very clear about that. However, I say this a lot. The money doesn't change the person. It typically changes the people around you.
Absolutely.
The people around you have a tendency to change, not you. And I started making a little bit of money. I was the same person. But suddenly the people around me thought that they could, hey, we should do this and we should do that. And then when the check came, because I would go do it because I knew I could afford mine. And when the check came, people started looking around and started twiddling their thumbs. You can't handle this? Yeah, I can, but you should be able to handle yourself too. You're a grown man. I don't take care of other grown men. You know what I mean? So don't get me wrong. I am a capitalist. I believe in making money. We live in a capitalist society. I'm all for it. However, when it starts to change, when you start to sell out for the money, then that's a different story. That is different. And I don't think that those type of men should be respected. But I'm not going to take anything away from. I was a blue collar guy. I was in the military and I was in law enforcement. You know what I mean? I made $60,000-$70,000 like everybody else at one point in time in my life. I'll never take that away from. My only thing was I was never satisfied being there. Never satisfied being there. Which is why I learned to invest my money. Which is why I try to teach these young boys how to invest their money. Right? And I get super excited when I hear them come and tell me, hey, I got a dividend this month from this company, or I did this and that, because they're investing money and they're starting to understand how capitalism in America works. America works based on making the money work for you. But we got to get back to getting rid of the title. The title is not relevant. And we need to get back to what type of man is he? What type of values does he have? What type of morals does he have? Is he taking care of his family? And if he's a garbage man or if he's an electrician, it's irrelevant because he's doing what he needs to be done. By the way, those are backbone, spine of the country jobs, by the way. We don't have those. This country goes under the water in a matter of minutes. We need those people. Like I said, I don't know shit about a power plant. If the power goes out, don't look at me. because I don't know what to tell y'all. We short, right? I know about security. I know how to keep people safe. That's what I know, right? But you know, when I see people disrespecting, you know, these guys that are power plant guys, and you know, people that have backbone, truck drivers and stuff like that, it does irk me a little bit, because without them, you wouldn't have your precious Nikes, and you wouldn't have, you know, all these your Lululemons and all that, because it would have never got to the stores. It would have never got there if it weren't for these truck drivers and these, you know, these pilots. You know, we take pilots for granted. It's a dangerous job. We take pilots for granted, you know?
And there's a shortage of pilots, because I saw a commercial about an air flight school that you'll be a pilot in less than 6 months. I'm like, what the hell is going on around here? I mean, there is a look. My son used to tell me, Mom, why are you not stressing about toilet paper? I said, why? There's a water hose outside. Bend over and I'll hose you down and you jump in the shower. What's the big deal? When I used to go to DR for the summers when I was a kid, and they used to shut the lights off at 5 o'clock in the afternoon to save money, you know, there were certain areas that were shut down. So you had to get your cooking and your clothes and everything done by 5 o'clock. You have to learn to adapt and adjust. COVID didn't make me nervous. I worked all through COVID. And you just learn how to adapt and survive. And I really want to see how we react when, God forbid, that fateful day comes, when martial law comes, when the shit hits the fan. I mean, do y'all really think it was a coincidence that the sixth largest port in America, that bridge went down? But that's a whole nother story, because I'm going to bring that up. You know, that's where it starts, the infrastructure. Then it's going to be the water supply. Then it's going to be the food supply. Then the internet. But we'll see what happens. We'll see, Cletus.
You know,
we're going to see.
You know what was funny, Grace, when Ukraine first started the war with Russia? The first thing they did was they put the women and the children on the train.
Got them up out of there.
Oh, my God. I didn't see no women saying, no, I want to fight too. You know what I'm saying? None of them said that. Feminism got on the train with the women and the kids, and the men had to stay back and fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And I'll never forget when Chris Rock said, women, children, or dogs are loved unconditionally. Yeah. Men are the only ones that are. I mean, it's just, it's really messed up, and I hate the way it is, but I hope that women like me and Take Heed and Mrs. She Said can really, I mean, if we could change the mindset of 3-4 people, then we've done our job. If you guys can change the mindset of 3-4 young men, then you've done your job. I saw the comment that Travel once said, none of the men on the panel are married, but talking about marriage. You don't have to be married. Kevin Samuels was a twice divorcee, and he was giving, he was getting results. You don't have. How many times have you gone to your barber and their hair looks fucked up? Or you go. I get my nail tech and her nails look messed up, but she be rocking my nails. I mean, you go to a therapist for therapy, counseling, and they're not married. It doesn't matter if you bring substance and good information and examples to people to teach them how to do better, so they can. If they know better, they do better.
Yeah, I don't need to be a mathematician to tell you that E equals MC squared. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not how that works.
But you know what? They wouldn't listen to him anyway, because he's not a rapper. You know what I'm saying? He's not an entertainer. You know, think about it. Look at what happened with Terrence Howard. Everybody was, rapping to "It's hard out here for a pimp." But when he started talking about the platonic solace, and then, people just turned him off. You know what I'm saying? I thought you was one of them rapper dudes, but you was one of them intelligent brothers. And now we don't want to hear what you got to say. It's all about what we see ourselves as, and who we put on a pedestal as our gods. You know what I mean? I think that is the issue, the crux of it. We've been sold a bill of goods. And that's the reason why a lot of times when people see these celebrities, they build them up because they're living vicariously through them. But at the same breath, we love to see them fall. I mean, look at P. Diddy, man. At one point in time, P. Diddy was the man, you know what I'm saying? Talking about some take that. Bad boy records. Everybody wanted to be a bad boy until it was time to be a bad boy. And they saw what bad boys really do, roughing up women in the dadgum in the hallway with a bath towel on, So do you really want that, ladies? Do you really want that lifestyle? You know, is it so bad to go home to an electrician who loves you, or a plumber who loves you, versus, you know, getting whooped up in a hallway for $30 million, you know what I'm saying, for a couple bucks? I mean, think about it. You have to really, really ask yourself what's really important in life. And I'm gonna leave it right there, man. Grace, you got it.
Absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up. This was a great conversation, Trey. Thank you for coming up. I appreciate it. You came in here with comedy, talking about tits and asses, everything. It's everything, but your kidneys can't touch your stomach because you got to have a full stomach too. But tonight's show was just a show to show mostly women how delusional they are with their unrealistic expectations. It's okay to have expectations. It really is. But to be so unrealistic to the point where you're going to end up buying a dog and dying alone is sad, because you're so set in your ways. And you just really, really think that man is going to come for you. And now you're 35. Now you're 40. Now you're 50. And you're 60 years old and you're still talking about, I got standards. So with that being said, I'm going to have Lit go ahead and close it out for me. Give me your thoughts and comments and final thoughts. Trey, if you're still here, I still want to hear from you. But I just want to thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank everybody in my chat. Don't forget to support every content creator on the Black Man Unfiltered Network. Go to each of their channels, press like, subscribe, and get the algorithm going with this Black Man Unfiltered Network. Go ahead and close it out for us, my dear.
You know what? I think what we probably need to do is get back to being better people. You know what I mean? And I think that you can have all the standards that you want as long as you pay for them. You know, and also recognize the consequences that come with them. There was a point in time where we're a lot happier with less, and it seems like the more we get, the more miserable we are. You know, which leads me to believe is that our things and stuff really don't make us happy, because after all, you can't take it with you anyway. You know, I'm all about making sure that you take care of yourself in older age, because that's where it matters. But like today, I was in a group chat with a female friend of mine, and she was running a Christian podcast, and all of a sudden there was this one lady who came up who lost her husband yesterday, and she was distraught. You know what I'm saying? And she didn't know what to do. You know, she was looking for counsel. She was looking for help, that type of thing. She said, I didn't expect my husband to not wake up this morning. You know, so what do I do? You know, he paid all the bills. He took care of everything. You know what I mean? He was the quintessential, you know, traditional man. You see what I'm saying? That type of thing. So now she's scrambling, looking for, you know, a way to put back the pieces. But what you need to do, we had to refer her to counseling, and we also pray for her as well too, because those things are important. At the end of the day, you want to make sure that, you know, you're loved and that you're cared for. And I think those are the basic things that people really need. And I always say that, you know, don't listen to the rest of the world. Listen to the people who are around you and take care of those and make those people better. And don't worry about what everybody else is doing, because what everybody else is doing, you know, they may be doing it for a different reason. They may be doing it for selfish reasons, where you started out, you wanted to be altruistic and you wanted to help your folks and your family. But at the end of the day, it's all about making sure that you're a better person for those who are around you. And I'm pretty sure those around you who see that you're taking care of them will take care of you as well. And I always say this all the time. There's a reason why, you know, it wasn't good for Adam to be alone. You know what I'm saying? And then God just saw fit to give him a helper. And to say, hey, look, Adam, I found somebody special just for you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And women have to remember that, yes, you're special. You know what I'm saying? And don't listen to the devil who told you that you're not enough. You know, always ask the question whenever somebody tells you that if you buy this, you can do this, and you can buy that and you can do that. But ask yourself the question, who told you were naked? Who told you that you were not enough? And I'm going to yield my mic. Grace, as always, it's a pleasure to come serve and also to be on the podcast. And thank you for everything that you're doing. And just keep going.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me this evening.
Absolutely. So with that being said, make sure you guys check us out tomorrow night on the Black Man Unfiltered Network, Flipping Tables. Hosting is Black Man and Lit. That's going to be off the chain. Thursday, my show at 8:30, we're going to be embracing gender roles. Let's get back to the basics. If you don't know, let's learn. Let's learn together. Maybe I can learn from somebody else what I can do better and enhance my things as a woman. But let's get back to the basics and see what the Bible says what gender roles are. Because what we're doing right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's not working. It's not. The most unmarried, most broken homes, most children born out of wedlock. Obviously, what we're doing is not working, and we need our men, whether they're black, white, purple, Martian, polka dot. We need our men, women, and learn to appreciate and value men, and learn to date within your lane. With all these unrealistic expectations, you're delusional. You're delusional. So with that being said, and you guys, when you know better, you do better. Thank you for coming. Don't feel bad. Drop a Cash App, support the channel, support the network. Don't forget to press like, leave comments. I do go and check comments. Travel One, I got you. You left me a nice lengthy one. I read it, but I just didn't have time to respond. I try to respond to everybody. It's a lot sometimes, and it does take time. But with that being said, guys, I'll see y'all tomorrow on the Black Man Unfiltered, Flipping Tables. Peace and good night. Take care.